Welcome to TBK's Truth Frame, where erased voices are restored, hidden histories are illuminated, and memory becomes our guide. My episode 45 revisits one of the most shocking attacks of the Sri Lankan Civil War. It demonstrated the LTTE's willingness to target not only military or political sites but the deepest cultural and spiritual symbols of the island. When silence was shattered, the Sri Dalada Maligawa bombing, 1998. On the morning of January 25, 1998, the city of Kandy awoke as it had for centuries, slowly, gently, to the rhythm of temple bells and the soft murmur of pilgrims gathering at the Sri Dalada Maligawa, the temple of the sacred tooth relic. For generations, this shrine had stood as the spiritual axis of Sri Lankan Buddhism, a place where the faithful came seeking solace, continuity, and the quiet reassurance of tradition. But at 6:10 a.m., that ancient stillness was torn apart. A truck packed with 300 to 400 kilograms of explosives crashed through the temple gates, its occupants firing at security personnel before detonating the bomb in a blast so powerful it shook buildings across Kandy. The attack, carried out by the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, LTTE, killed 17 people, including a 2-year-old child, and injured more than 25 others. BBC News reported that the explosion ripped open the entrance, shattered the roof, and sent shockwaves through one of the holiest Buddhist sites in the world. A strike at the heart of a nation. The timing was deliberate and devastating. Sri Lanka was preparing to celebrate its 50th anniversary of independence, with Kandy chosen as the symbolic center of the festivities. Foreign dignitaries, including the Prince of Wales, were expected to visit the temple in the days ahead. By attacking the Dalada Maligawa, the LTTE did not merely target a building. They struck at the spiritual core of the nation, a UNESCO World Heritage Site revered by millions. The sacred tooth relic, believed to be a tooth of the Buddha himself, is not only a religious treasure but a symbol of sovereignty, continuity, and cultural identity. To harm the temple was to wound the soul of Sri Lanka. The moment the sacred was violated. Eyewitnesses described the blast as a thunderous reverberation, a sound that seemed to tear the morning open. The golden roof was ripped apart. Ancient murals, some centuries old, were pulverized into dust. The ornate wooden doors splintered. The air, once thick with incense, filled with smoke, debris, and screams. Among the dead were monks beginning their morning rituals, pilgrims offering flowers, and police officers stationed to protect the shrine. BBC reports noted that the inner chamber housing the sacred tooth relic miraculously remained unharmed, a detail that many Buddhists interpreted as a sign of spiritual resilience. A nation in mourning, not in vengeance. In the hours that followed, grief swept across the island. For Buddhists worldwide, the attack felt like a desecration, an assault not only on a sacred space but on the values of compassion, nonviolence, and continuity that the temple embodied. Yet what emerged from Kandy was not a call for revenge. Instead, the people mourned. They gathered in silence. They lit candles. They placed lotus flowers on the temple steps. And then, with remarkable resolve, they began to rebuild. The restoration of the Dalada Maligawa became a national act of healing. Craftsmen, historians, and devotees worked with painstaking care to repair the damage. The temple reopened within months, its rituals resuming as a testament to endurance. The sacred tooth relic remained untouched, its survival a symbol of hope amid devastation. The echo that still lingers. The bombing of the Sri Dalada Maligawa was one of the most shocking attacks of the Sri Lankan Civil War. It demonstrated the LTTE's willingness to target not only military or political sites but the deepest cultural and spiritual symbols of the island. But the attack also revealed something else. That violence can shatter stone, but not spirit. The temple stands today, scarred, but unbroken. Pilgrims still climb its steps in reverence. Drums still beat during the morning Thavava ritual. The fragrance of jasmine and lotus still fills the air. And in the quiet glow of oil lamps, the memory of those lost continues to live. Each candle lit is a vow. Each lotus placed is a prayer. Each moment of silence is an act of defiance against hatred. A legacy of resilience. To remember the victims of January 25, 1998, is to honor more than their tragic deaths. It is to honor the resilience of a people who refuse to let violence define them. It is to acknowledge the sacredness of spaces that hold a nation's memory. And it is to reaffirm a truth that the attackers could never extinguish. That compassion endures. That faith endures. That peace, though fragile, is never beyond repair. Sources: Wikipedia, 1998 Temple of the Tooth Attack. BBC News, 11 die in Sri Lankan temple suicide bomb. Ceylon Today, the forgotten history of the bombing of the Temple of the Sacred Tooth. If you believe these stories matter, like and subscribe. Your support fuels the next frame of truth.